Yes, sir. We are live on YouTube as well as on Zoom. Good afternoon, participants. Welcome to the live session for the course Animal Waste Management. Our instructors, Professor Vipin Maurya, sir, Professor Utkarsh Kumar Tripathi, sir, and Professor Anuradha Kumari, ma'am, is with us. You can join Zoom directly and interact with our instructors, or you can watch the event on YouTube and post your queries on YouTube chat. So we will respond. Yes, sir. You can introduce and then let's start, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, dear participants, students, and the organizers. And I'm very thankful to the organizers that they have arranged for this live session for doubt clearance of the students as well as for an overview. So you all know the exam is on 17th of April. So all the best for your exams. And this course, the animal waste management, it was taken up by three assistant professors, including me, Dr. Vipin Maurya, Dr. Utkarsh Kumar Tripathi, and Dr. Anuradha Kumari from Livestock Production Management Department, Banaras Hindu University. So this course was all about dealing with the animal waste. And in the first week itself, which was the first module, the fundamentals of animal waste management, we have learned about the introduction to the animal waste, the importance of the animal waste management, the dairy farm waste, the poultry farm waste, the milk processing plant waste, piggery, fishery, abattoir waste, and animal industry related waste. So we have dealt in details about what is waste, how this waste is managed. In the second week, we have learned about the handling and hazards of the animals. The second week lectures were covered by Dr. Anuradha Kumari, and the lectures were animal waste handling methods, carcass disposal methods, zoonotic diseases and spillover of the zoonotic diseases due to the improper disposal of the waste, then soil health and animal waste and water contamination, and livestock waste as animal feed. So this was all about the second week. In the third week, which was dealt by Dr. Utkarsh Kumar Tripathi, we have learned about the special waste utilization techniques like the farmyard manure and composting, the biogas plant, the vermicomposting, biodynamic fertilizers, the biofuels, panchagav and animal waste as livestock feed, then modern techniques used in automation, semi-automation and disposal of the farm waste. And finally, we have learned about the integrated farming, the azola farming, the mushroom farm. And in the fourth week, the final week, the animal waste and environment. So we all three coordinated for this course for this fourth week, and the topics covered were methane emission from the livestock, economics of the farm waste handling and utilization, NGT norms for handling the animal waste, national biogas and manure management program, waste utilization and carbon sequestration, and finally animal waste and the climate change. So these were the topics dealt in the whole week, 4 weeks, and hope everything was made very clear by the instructors. We also tried to give a brief discussion and brief elaboration of the topics which were covered, and we expected the learners to go through it and ask some or clarify your doubts. So uh, I request our this organizers to see if there is any question in lineup so that we can answer the question.
Sure, sir. I'm just checking the YouTube chat. But on Zoom, nobody joined yet, sir. I'll just check the YouTube chat, sir. No, sir. Students are not active. Maybe we'll wait for 3 to 5 minutes, sir. In case if nobody is joining, then we will call it a day, sir. Otherwise, just in case if you want to give a little more insight about the course, Utkarsh sir or
Yeah.
Anuradha, you can discuss those things, ma'am.
So first, Anuradha ma'am will be discussing about the insights of the course.
Hello, good afternoon, participants. I am giving a brief introduction of what we have taught in the second week, handling and hazards of animal waste. In that week, first we have discussed the different handling methods of animal waste. We have discussed that the handling method is one of the component of there are the different component of handling method, and that the handling methods depend upon the solid content and moisture content of a particular livestock waste. In that lecture, we have discussed there are the three form of animal waste: solid waste, liquid waste, and the semi-solid. And this three consistency mainly depend upon the concentration of the moisture or moisture percentage present in the animal waste. When the animal waste have a less than 5% moisture, then it is considered as a solid waste. When animal waste have a 5 to 20% range of moisture, then it is considered as a semi-solid waste. And when animal waste have more than 20% of moisture content, that is considered the liquid waste. Depending upon the consistency, there are the different handling method that we have discussed in detail in the given set lecture. In the continuation with the handling for the Indian condition, we have discussed about the storage condition, that is the ulnut pit for our Indian condition. In that ulnut pit, there is a two compartment. While storage and decomposting is going in the first compartment, after that we are doing the storage and collection in the second compartment. At that time, the decomposition process will go in the second compartment. Like in the first week, in the same week, handling and hazard methods lecture, we have discussed different solid waste like the dung and the waste food material and bedding material. Liquid waste is the urine, and the second most important is the wastewater that is used for animal washing, animal shit. That can, if properly managed, that can be used for the irrigation purpose. That, as we have discussed, that how beautifully in the RA milk colony of the Bombay, the wastewater collected from the buffalo set is successfully used for growing the fodder in that particular area, and that is very good example of the water conservation too. In the second week, we have discussed about the carcass disposal. The detailed of this I will discuss later on. First, Dr. Utkarsh will brief about his brief introduction of his week. Later on, I will join. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Over to you, sir. Utkarsh, sir. Mic is muted, sir. Utkarsh, sir, can you turn on the mic?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hello everyone,
Yes.
myself Dr. Utkarsh Kumar Tripathi. In this session, our interaction has been continued from Dr. Vipin Maurya, who discussed about the overview of the course, annual waste management, and thereafter Dr. Anuradha Kumari briefed about few lectures of her part, which was assigned to her for taking in this particular course. And week 3 was dedicated for me, myself, for special waste utilization, in which we discussed various ways through which we can use the waste, the thing which are termed as waste, which is evolved from livestock, along with the plant, along with the agriculture byproduct, agriculture waste. We can also utilize the same and convert into the best part so that we can get the revenue out of it by using the waste. Means waste can ultimately be treated into best if we are having the proper management and proper ways to utilize our waste for their better response and better benefits. Likewise, in first lecture, we discussed about farmyard manure and composting. So here we see that farmyard manure, we can utilize farmyard manure means livestock waste, means animal waste, whatever we are getting out of our dairy farm, our piggery farm, our sheep goat farm, our equine farm from a stable itself. And along with this, there are various other things like agricultural byproduct, what we are using, our stover and wheat straws, bedding material from the animal houses. All these can be combined and make through the compost. Otherwise, we can also use it for farming vermicomposting by using some specific type of earthworm, through which we can convert the essentials, macronutrient out of the complex material by composting and or vermicomposting and converting it into a simpler compound, simpler material, so that it can be well absorbed by the plants if we are putting it in our field. So by putting merely without treating it in our field directly will not fetch the same benefits unless and until we can convert it into more simpler form. So either we can do it for the long term by composting, by putting in some pit and waiting for a long time. We can incorporate with the involvement of few red wiggler, earthworm like Acinia fetida and others also famous for that. So that we can utilize it, the complex material by breaking down into simpler ones so that plants can absorb it by absorbing it well from the soil, and so that that will be more helpful for the growth part of our plants. And thereafter, we also discussed about the better use of livestock waste by converting it into biogas plant. Here, we know that fossil fuels that are we are having a limited sources and limited quantity with us. So, if we are using it continuously without any involvement, without any other substitute for making it our energy demands, then slowly we will get it replenished. It will be vanished from our earth, and we will not be able to use it for further for a long time. So that it is a demand of time that we are supposed to use some renewable sources so that we can utilize it for a longer time. So in this scene, we can go with our animal waste also by converting the animal waste into biogas. So here we see that the dung, the basic animal waste, what we know it as a layman, that the animal houses are excreting a large amount of waste. We can say that at least one cow is excreting about 20 to 25 kg, up to 30 kg of dung, and around 20 kg, 20 liters, we can say 15 to 20 liters around urine. So if we are having a good number of dairy farm, herd strength is around 100 or something more, then we can say that there are huge production of livestock waste in the form of dungs, in the form of urine. So if we are just barely putting it into the ground or dumping it, then certainly we are going to get it a large volume, and that is not well utilizable by our fields and ultimately by our plants. So if we can convert it into more simpler compound, then not only we can get it into convert it into slurry form so that it can be well utilized by the plants, and also at the same time we can get the biogas that is having 65% or more than 65% methane production out of it, and 30% around that CO2. CO2 is non-combustible gas, we all know it, and methane, that CH4 is having the combustion property, energy production, and that energy can equally convert it into electrical energy, and that electrical energy can be used for the household purpose. So ultimately, that animal waste, which was waste previously, now we can convert it into best part, that is our fulfilling for our energy demand. So this is the very good part for our animal waste utilization. And thereafter, we discussed about biodynamics fertilizer. This is a very unique phenomena and unique anthroposophic philosophy, that if we can combine the holistic approach of agriculture, soil, animal husbandry, and the super cosmic phenomena. You people might be very stunned that one scientist and philosopher, you can say one artist, you can say they are a multi-talented personality. Skinner, he discovered about a concept that if we are applying some holistic approach for combining the soil, agriculture, animal husbandry, and human health, then we can fetch the benefits of super cosmic energies also. Means spiritual energy can be combined with the soil, agriculture, animal, and human. So for example, if we can see that if you are growing some plant and that plant is having its fruit above the ground, then if the moon is increasing in size up to full moon from 0 to 15 days, you can say that going toward the full moon, then the fruit production will be more in comparison to the plants which is having its fruits, like you can say potato. In case of stem is having that fruit capacity, that capacity what we are using for vegetable purpose. So in this sense, if you are growing potatoes during from full moon to the darker part, then that production and that growth of the plant will be more. So here we can say that if we are utilizing the cosmic energy phenomena just to get the benefit out of our agriculture, our soil sciences, or animal husbandry, then we can get a great thing out of it. And it will be very strange for you people also that this was the basics of organic farming. So this biodynamic concept of biodynamic fertilizer just grew into the basics of organic farming. Here, one more example I would like to hear that Skinner started growing some kind of special fertilizer by putting the soil in cattle horns, and that cattle horns were just put into the ground for a longer time, and thereafter when we put it out and after putting it in the plant, it was having a multiple benefits in comparison to the merely putting soil compost, organic compost. He was getting more and more benefits out of it. Means putting the manure quality in the horns of the cattle and dumping it into the ground for a longer time. You can say that 30 days or 40 days, and thereafter putting it out and just using the manure out of it and putting it into the plant for, you can say that, for the precious plant. So here we can say that the holistic approach of plants, animals, agriculture, and human can fetch more and more prices for us. Next, we discuss about the Panchagabya, that is having our root in our mythological, Hindu mythological things and other philosophical or other spiritual things. That if we are using Panchagabya, means Panch means you might be knowing about that Panch means five and Gabya means Padar. So five types of material. We are basically five types of material we use. Few materials are obtained direct and few are their origin as indirect. For the direct, that we can get the dung and urine and milk. For the indirect purpose, we can say that out of milk we can get the curd and ghee. So basically, dung, urine, milk, curd, and ghee. These five things can be combined in a specific proportion, and thereafter giving it time to get it fermented, and thereafter putting in some other ingredient also like banana and coconut water, some jaggery mixture, or you can say the sugar cane juice and everything. And thereafter we can get a very mystical and very strange quality of that Panchagavya. That Panchagavya can introduce the immunity booster, their effect, and also that Panchagavya can stimulate that natural pesticide, you can say that will not be infested that plants. If we can treat it with Panchagavya, then plant will be protecting itself as like some pesticides. Two things using our animal waste is rooted in our history also, in our spiritual sense also. So Panchagavya was just an example for that. And thereafter we see that animal waste can also be utilized for livestock feed also. Likewise, that one waste can be the investment for another thing. Likewise, we can integrate the thing, means animal, agriculture, as well as human life. These all things can be integrated and combined with each other so that we can get the best out of it. Likewise, if we can combine the poultry farming along with the livestock farming, along with the goatry, then we can get a good price. And the waste, what we are treating it here as waste, that waste will be treated as investment or as resource for another venture. Likewise, if we are treating poultry farming and fish farming, so we can say that the waste of poultry farming, which is enriched with that nitrogen and nitrogen good fertilizer, we all know it, that enriched with fertilizer, if we are putting in a controlled amount in a fish pond, then algal growth and microflora, fauna, and pond will be flourished, and that will be treated as food for the fish. so that our feeding cost for the fish will also be diminished little bit, and that feeding cost, if we are diminishing, that will be converted into our benefits, our profits out of fish farming. At the same time, what we got, that the most mania which is listened nowadays regarding poultry farming, that the waste and their foul smell. So we have also get rid of that foul smell by treating the poultry waste into and using it in the fish farming, so that we can say that we just get rid of poultry waste, its foul smell, its bulk, and putting it into the fish. We also got our cost cutting for fish trading. So ultimately, while integrating two farming system, two venture, we can get a better option for getting benefits out of it. Along with this, we discussed about few modern techniques in which we saw that nowadays we can combine the IoT, means Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, and other methods, means robotic technology, so that we can get the information that that particular bins at the particular crossing has been filled up completely, so that that message will be circulated by the artificial intelligence and the sensor which is put into the smart bins right now. Such kind of bins are famous in some European countries and America. That that particular bins is having some sensor. So if the bins is completely filled up, means if the bins is completely filled up the waste by uh, throwing it by the colonies, by human population, then that particular center will put the message to the database that that particular bins should be lifted up and evacuated, and thereafter new or fresh or empty bins to be transferred at the same location. So here we see that otherwise what will have been happened, that that particular bins has been filled, and thereafter the spillage of waste will create again a problem. So here we see that sensor based bins are having some kind of boom like effect for waste collection system. And thereafter, when we are at our waste disposal factory or waste recycling factory, then we see that if we are having some robotic techniques to separate, to sorting the things, like the robotic system nowadays can sort the glass separately, the plastics separately, the paper things separately, and the organic material like vegetable peels, fruit based, and other things separately, so that we can be very efficient for collecting it, for sorting it, and thereafter processing it, means recycling it into the suitable format. So modern techniques right now becoming more and more easy and more efficient, putting its emphasis for collection, sorting, and recycling purpose. Along with this, we discussed that many more things are here, like economics. Economics of animal-based management for biogas plants and other things. Here we see that if we can compare it with few very easy example, we see here that in India, we see that the gas cylinder for household purpose is around 14.2 kg. 14.2 kg, if we can convert it into liters, then roughly we can say that 1 kg equal to 2 liter in case of LPG at 75 degree Fahrenheit temperature. So 14 kg cylinder will be having the capacity, means at 28 liter LPG. So 28 liter LPG, now we are supposed to convert it into meter cube for getting the volume, because in case of LPG cylinder, that LPG cylinder is having its total volume compressedly, means it is very compressed in case in cylinders. That's why when we are putting the knob on, then the gas is going out very fast. So actually this is around 8 meter cube volume, and it is just compressed into 28 liter and that 14 kg format of in that cylinder. Here we see one more principle is that here that around 1 kg dung is just producing 0.036 meter cube per kg gas. Means if you want to produce biogas out of it, then 1 kg dung is sufficient to produce around 0.036 kg meter cube gas. So here we see that if we want to produce about 8 meter cube, that is the capacity of 1 liter, means one LPG cylinder household purpose, not for commercial one household purpose 8 meter cube. Then we see that we will need to have around 222 kg, roughly it is just roughly estimation that you can say that 200 kg dung will be needed. Here we see one more thing, that the fermentation is acting on the dry part, means the material of it. Means we can see that if we are having 1 kg of dung, then out of it just 65 kg, 65% is the dry matter. That is the material on which the fermentation is working. Right now, the other part, like 35%, is just water, and that water is having no direct role in fermentation. And because the carbon and nitrogen substrate is needed for that. So around this, on calculation, we find that around 220 kg and 200 kg gas, 200 kg dung will be needed. So if we are having one cow, then that cow, if this is excreting around 20 kg per day, then on that basis means 50%, if we can say, then 12 kg dry matter for per day, 12 kg for per day. So this will take around how much time? Means around 20 days. So in 20 days, one cow can compensate one LPG gas. In pure sense, if we are just using that biogas for the cooking purpose only, then we can say that around one cow, if we are keeping them for 20 days or 25 days, we can say that it can compensate our need of one cylinder, one LPG cylinder. So ultimately, we can say that we can cut down our cost for LPG cylinder, and if we are producing more than that, then we can ultimately we can go for lending it or some loaning it for some other purpose, for electrical use, for some other purpose also along with that. And the other one, what we discussed in our lecture schedule, that was NGT, means National Green Tribunal. National Green Tribunal, we see that this was established with the mandate to impose the laws on various issues which are related with the violating the rule and regulations for hampering the environmental issues. Likewise, it can cover the water law, air laws, jitne bhi hain, everything will be just converted under it. And if there is any violation, for hampering the issue, hampering or making some kind of breaking the laws, then NGT will take action. There are various examples you might have listened about NGT, that if there is any program, then there will be issuing of no objection certificate. Then only we can perform any program beside the banks of any river or some abandoned land, everything without any approval, without firm approval of NGT, we can't go for some big type program, big occasion, and some mass programs. So here we see that we discussed so many things about our animal based to converting it into better way and better format. Thank you. If you have any query, then you can ask. I'm giving you Anuradha Kumari for this.
Till any participant join, sir?
Not yet, madam. I think they are not active.
No.
Yes, ma'am. They are not at all active, madam. So nobody is watching the event on YouTube as well. And the examination for our course is on 25th of April. So nearly 266 students have registered for the examination. So would you like to discuss on the question pattern and stuff? It would be helpful for the students. This streaming will be recorded and then we will upload it on the YouTube. So students will watch the event later on also. So you can.
What question paper?
Yeah, something like the question paper, how to prepare for the examinations. Those will be helpful for the students who are appearing for the examinations.
Okay, sir, before discussing that, there are certain more things that we would like to discuss with the students, and then we will be discussing about the question.
Sure, sir. Please go ahead, sir.
So,
just a brief introduction of my lecture of second week, that we have discussed the different method of carcass disposal. First, what is the need of different method? Before any scientific method, since long time carcass are disposed in a different traditional way, but because of unscientific disposal of the carcass, uh, waste result in the soil pollution, water pollution, carcass for the disposal purpose. For that needs a covering of the carcass is required, closing the different orifice of the animal and removing the skin of the carcass before the carcass disposal, except in the case of highly contagious diseases like the anthrax. After that, we have to select the site we have traditional method of carcass disposal like the burial and burning, and then recent techniques of carcass disposal that we the facility that we have with us. And on the small scale, most famous method is the burial method of carcass disposal. For that, most important thing is the selection of the burial site. It should be away from 200 meters away from the almost all the sources like the water sources, telephones, wires, and the residential area. After the selection of the site for the burial, we have to make a burial. We have to make a pit. The pit is done. Pitting is done, and in that dumping of carcass is done in a such a way that the lowermost part of the carcass should be 2 meters above the water ground level, and the uppermost part of the carcass should be at least 2 meters deep from the ground level. It's just to prevent the scavenging carnivore. In that continuation, we have discussed the recent technology like the incineration. Incineration is nothing a method of thermal destruction of the carcass in which carcass are burned at a very high temperature within a short period of time. Because of that high temperature, almost all types of microorganisms are destructed, and the animal carcass is converted into ash that can be used for applied in the field can easily. In the continuation of the health and hazard of the animal waste, we have discussed the different types of zoonotic diseases. That is what is zoonotic disease? The zoonotic diseases are diseases that are common of the mostly of the origin of vertebrate species that can be transmitted to the human species. So the disease that occurring between the animals and human is called zoonotic diseases. And the animal waste is the one of the most important factor that is responsible for the different list of the zoonotic disease. Animal waste either directly by direct contact with the animal waste of the owner person who handling the animal waste, or indirectly through the animal urine, blood, milk, or saliva. These different type of zoonotic diseases are can be transmitted to the human population. To the human person, the most common zoonotic disease that we have discussed in our lectures are the E. coli, Salmonella, Toxoplasma, and many more. And for the for water flooded area, we have discussed that the leptospira that is mainly transmitted through the urines of cattle, buffalo, and the rodents. So in the water flood area, when the skin is there is any breaches in the skin, so that bacteria can easily enter to the human population during the working in the agriculture field and causes the different type of zoonotic diseases. In continuous to the second, we have discussed the different soil health factor, how the application of the waste can affect the soil. In that continuous, we have discussed that there are the three main factors, that the physical, chemical, and biological property, and how the different property are affected by the application of the animal waste. As we have discussed, no, okay, animal waste is very important for the soil health, but over application may have a detrimental effect. In that continuation, we have discussed that the proper amount application, proper timing, and better to incorporate the soil into the soil for better health of the soil, and that will also prevent the excess running, chilling, or running of the that waste into the nearby water bodies. When over application of the animal waste occurs, that will flow with the rainwater or through the rainwater and reaches to the different water sources like river, ponds. When this excess nutrient reaches to the pond, lead to the excessive growth of algae that is known as algal bloom. Because of excessive growth of algae first it reduces the diversity of that water ecosystem. Excessive growth of that algae prevent the penetration of light into the lower layer of the water pond. So this lead to the different totally change the ecosystem of the water body, causes the this algal also produce different toxin, finally affect the aquatic life, more mortality of the fishes happen. In the fourth week, we have discussed the two important things, that how the animal waste is responsible for the environment pollution. In that continuation, we have discussed the animal waste is responsible for release of different types of greenhouse gases. That is the methane, carbon dioxide, and nitrous oxide mainly. Out of these, the most important greenhouse gases is the carbon dioxide, which contributing 80% of the oil. And the second most is methane, and third is the nitrous oxide. How the animal are responsible for production of these gases, in that continuous we have discussed, there are the mainly two sources through which these gases are contributed by animal to the environment. First is through the enteric fermentation. As we know that animal are mainly consuming different type of fibrous food. When these fibrous foods are reaches to the animal stomach, that is known as rumen, it converted into different type of volatile fatty acid like acetate, propionate, and butyrate. After that, this all on the further process of fermentation, there is a release of different type of different number of hydrogens ion. More hydrogen are produced as a result of fermentation of acetate. If these hydrogen ion are not consumed, not absorbed by the CO2, then it prevents the further degradation for fermentation. As a result, CO2 combined with the hydrogen ion, and there is a formation of methane, which is important potent greenhouse gases responsible for the global warming. Like that, the second source of methane and the nitrous oxide is through the manure management. When the animal waste is applied in the agriculture field, naturally the methane is produced as a result of anaerobic digestion by the different type of methanogenic bacteria. Simultaneously, nitrous oxide is also produced over by the application of animal waste, either dung or the urine in the field condition. The most important thing is methane is produced only under the anaerobic condition. However, the nitrous oxide is produced both aerobic and anaerobic condition by the process of nitrification and denitrification. In the continuation of our lecture, we have discussed what are the different strategies we should apply to prevent or reduce the excretion of these potent greenhouse gases. In that, we have discussed anyhow when we improve the animal fermentation capability, then it reduces that. Then it help into reduction in the these greenhouse gases. By most important thing is we have to improve our grazing system. So more the healthier plant, more the more the healthier the animal. We should improve the protein quality that we have supplied. In that condition, we have discussed different types of electron acceptor. Electron acceptor we have discussed, that electron acceptor absorb the hydrogen that is not available for the methanogen for production of methane, like many more that we have discussed in our lectures. So it is a brief introduction that we have discussed in our second and fourth lecture from the my side. Now Dr. Vipin will tell you a little bit detail about the examination patterns and the question patterns. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am,
Thank you,
for
ma'am.
explaining in a detailed manner.
And all the instructors have very beautifully elaborated everything which we have covered in the course. And so further, I would like to say that we have a huge population of livestock as well as animals in this country. According to the previous livestock census, we know that we have over 302 million cattle and buffalo population, more than 851.8 billion this poultry population in our country itself, 230 millions of the sheep and goat population, and similarly the 4 million of the pig population. So such a huge amount of population of livestock, it is giving the same amount of the this uh, what we call it as dung or waste, livestock waste. So, as we know that a horse or equine unit, a single equine, it gives around 18 kgs of this produces feces per day. Similarly, cattle buffalo, on an average, it produces 24 to 30 kgs of feces per day. Similarly, buffalo, they produce 40 kgs of feces per day. And sheep and goat, their feces is literally concentrated, and we call it as droppings. Similarly, poultry, so they produce almost 1.25 kgs in case of sheep and goat, per sheep and goat. And for per 100 poultry birds, we get 3 kgs of dung. Similarly, pigs, they produce 4 kgs, and the dung produced by the pig, it is very concentrated in nature, as pig is a monogastric animal and it eats the food as the human consumes. Same amount of carbohydrates, proteins, calories are there. So such a huge amount, if it is not disposed of properly, it will cause environmental havocs. And the importance of the livestock waste management, it is in maintaining the soil fertility, improving the soil microflora and microfauna. Fuels, it is a very good source of fuel, as Dr. Utkarsh have already uh, discussed about the biogas and the biofuel. So resource management, if it is done properly, so this biogas can serve the entire this village. Then there are a lot of opportunities for the people who are directly or indirectly related dealing with this animal waste. The students can also go for the entrepreneurs. Then they can go for the consultancy also. It is a very good thing for learning the organic agriculture, the organic and sustainable livestock management, then reducing the infections, then the methane emission reduction. Because the livestock is also producing a huge amount of methane, and which is a concern in for the global warming. Similarly, the odor control, the fly menace, fly control, vector control, and the environmental pollution control, water this contamination control, and this nitrogen utilization. Apart from this, we can make a lot of byproducts from this, as we have already discussed about the vermicomposting, then panchagavya, then biofuel, the biogas, the manures, the compost, and new technologies are coming for this utilization of this animal waste from the abattoir and from the slaughterhouse waste for making the, the medicines, for making the catgut, which is a suture which is used in this surgery. Then a lot of hormones are extracted from the for this therapeutic purposes. Then a lot of food products are made, like gelatin, and endless things we can generate and from this livestock waste, and we can earn the revenues also. So coming to the examination, as we all know that 25th of April, there will be the examination of this course, Animal Waste Management. So no need to worry, dear students. So it will be very easy for those who have dealt with this course. Those who have even seen the lectures once, they can easily do the examinations. So there will be 50 MCQs. Each MCQ will be carrying 2 marks. So total 100 marks up there. So each question will carry 2 marks, and there all the questions will be MCQs. 4 choices will be there, and you have to mark the one correct choice. And apart from this examination is conducted by NTA this year also. So all the best, and no need to worry. There are in this 40% of easy questions will be finding, 30% moderate questions, and 30% or 20% of a little bit tougher questions will be there. And certain fact-based questions, data-based questions are also there. So kindly be prepared for that. And no need to worry, if you have watched all these videos, all these lectures properly, so you won't be finding any problem in doing any of the questions. All the questions are from the syllabus itself. All the questions are from the lectures itself. So, and if there is any doubt, so Google Forum is always open. The question answer forum is always open in the SWAYAM. So you can always ask the questions. So thank you.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
sir.
everyone.
Yes, sir. We expect students to watch this event once we post it on the portal. Thank you so much, instructors, for your valuable time. Since nobody has joined, we will end the session 15 minutes prior to the closing time. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Utkarsh, sir. I'm stopping this training, sir.